This video is brought to you by Granger Motors, where you can save up to $1,300 on a factory extended warranty on your new Ford or Ram, Jeep, Chrysler vehicle.
Guys, welcome to the world debut of the 2025 Ford Expedition. This is the flagship SUV for Ford, and they say it's all new. And in this video, I'll be able to show you several different trims. I'm standing right next to the new first ever Expedition Tremor edition. This is the off-road version, but I also have a couple of more luxurious ones. I have a Platinum and also have a King Ranch. And here's my question. First of all, is it really all new? What's going on here? So I'll be able to show you all the features inside and out. And also, does it have enough to take on segment bestsellers like the Chevy Tahoe and the Chevy Suburban? So let's start just here right now with the styling. So as you can see in the front, the styling is new. You can see the new lamps, big Expedition written right there across the hood. And of course, the Tremor is unique and special. By the way, Ford had an Expedition Timberline off-road model. That model is no more. It's basically evolved and transformed into this. And this one has a unique grille, off-road lamps that I'll show you in a little bit. And of course, sort of these orange yellow accents, and of course toe points up here in the front. So it has unique design and features. So save that for a little bit. Let's go check out the King Ranch edition, and then we'll keep walking around so we can see a lot more of what's happening here. Now let's look at the size of this vehicle a little bit more. This is the King Ranch edition, and the wheelbase hasn't changed. So this is a standard wheelbase Expedition, just as the way it was before. It's about 122.5 inches, which is about an inch longer than a standard wheelbase Chevy Tahoe. And then I'll show you a longer version, the Max they call it, here in a second. And you would say, all right, so they changed the front end. The wheelbase is about the same as before, so it's not really all new. But I spoke to the chief engineer, and he told me that the frame underneath this has been redesigned with new suspension attachment points. So actually, if you took this brand new 2025 Expedition and you compared it to the outgoing 2024 truck, you wouldn't be able to interchange some of the suspension components or other components on them. So truly, the chassis is new. And partially they did it, well, not just for kind of suspension comfort, but Zach, come over here with me. They also did it for towing ability. And let's see, so this truck, this is a Ford event, and this truck is set up with a couple of things plugged in on the back. But I wanted to see if I can unveil the hitch. And you know what? It's not very easy because it's got these tabs on the back here, but they've improved towing, and you can kind of see a little bit of the suspension. Let me get a light. See, so still rear independent suspension. Of course, front is independent as well. You also see the spare tire and the exhaust system here coming out in the back. They improved towing a bit. So a big deal when you're towing heavy in any vehicle. And of course, this Expedition has a lot in common with the F-150, right? Or it used to, and they're kind of separating a little bit because the F-150 has a solid rear axle. But Ford says towing without a weight distribution hitch, which can be kind of complicated and cumbersome to set up, this will tow up to 7,000 pounds without weight distributing. With weight distribution, so those WaySafe hitches that I show you in some other videos, actually WaySafe improved it dramatically. It will tow up to 9,600 pounds now in two-wheel drive models. So if you have kind of a base, brand new Expedition Active two-wheel drive, you'll be able to tow with a towing package up to 9,600 pounds, which is about 300 pounds more than before, and it's almost class leading. The only thing that can tow more, potentially, is the Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer from Jeep. Take a look at this King Ranch payload sticker, 1,575 pounds. This is quite impressive because this is a fully laden, optioned luxury SUV, and it still has over, well, almost 1,600 pounds of payload. That's pretty nice. Now you're probably wondering about what powers this new Expedition. Well, the engines actually haven't changed much at all. So the base 2025 Expeditions will have the 3.5-liter twin turbocharged V6 EcoBoost engine that was there before, and the power rating is for this year 400 horsepower and 480 pound-feet of torque. And of course, there's a 10-speed automatic transmission behind it, and 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive. Now, if you're looking at the Platinum like this is near the top of their range. This is a high output version of the engine. So several models of the Expedition will have that engine, including the Tremor off-road truck and also the Platinum. And then you're getting 440 horsepower and 510 pound-feet of torque. It's basically a Ford F-150 Raptor EcoBoost engine, very similar to that, just a little bit different on power. Now let's step inside because there's so much more going on in there. Wow, I mean, they have really changed the interior of this SUV. There is nothing, I don't know if there's anything carryover from the previous one. Let me see. Where do we start? Well, first of all, the dashboard is different. There's just this giant open space here. This slightly, that looks like a speaker material. It is. They call it a soundstage. So for this premium Platinum model, there's B&O system speakers in there. Then you have a gigantic horizontally situated screen right there. And this is the largest in the class. And we recently did a video about the brand new 2025 Lincoln Navigator. And that has basically wall-to-wall screen. This is a little bit shorter. But I mean, how fancy do you want to be? So why do this orientation? Of course, there's another big infotainment screen here in the middle. Well, Ford says this horizontal orientation is better for visibility and getting information to the driver. And I tend to agree because my eyes want to look over the dash and over the hood, and this kind of allows me to see a lot of my information really high. I don't have to lower my gaze down, and also just my focus length, right? I'm getting a little bit older these days, so I don't have to readjust my eyes too much from looking out there, from kind of looking down in here. So the steering wheel changed too. This is very similar to what's available on the Navigator. And you have, first of all, it's smaller. It's almost a Squircle, not really. There is a sensor here that is supposed to watch your eyes. And that's for seeing if the driver is paying attention while using BlueCruiser system. I'll talk about BlueCruiser in a second. It's the hands-free driving. Now, let me try to adjust a few things. This is kind of my first, so I use, now the steering wheel comes up. So you see, these control panels can do multiple things depending on what, like controlling your pedals, controlling your steering, controlling your volume, also enabling voice control down here. And on my left, I have cruise control systems. You see following distance, lane keep, and that's kind of how I would set up my BlueCruiser and cruise control systems right here. So that's quite interesting. Some other manufacturers are now doing something like this, like Rivian, for example, where they have toggles and knobs and buttons on the steering wheel that do different things depending on which context you're kind of using it. So let me know what you think about this. Ford says they did a lot of research with potential customers and current customers. Really clear screen. They call it now Ford Digital Experience. It's basically a Google-based system. Also, this lower panel reminds me of the Navigator 2. Here I have a dial control for the transmission. It has manual mode, and it has up and down gears if you do so choose to shift or control your gears, maybe descending a mountain grade. You can do that here. Volume and some other controls, including traction control and hill descent control and some other features here. It's a push button start. And Zach, do you have a good enough light? Let me see. Let me get a little bit more light here. So there's a trailer brake controller right down here. It's good. It's on the right side, but it's a little bit out of the way. Maybe not most customers probably won't tow with this, but Ford says this is a full-size SUV, so a lot of customers do like towing, and I'm glad they actually incorporated this. Then now, Zach, look at this. So there's a little bit of a cubby here. Pro trailer backup assist knob is here. USB-C, Type C and Type A ports. Wireless charger pad on this side. It's angled toward the driver. So even if you're charging wirelessly, you can quickly open this and glance at your phone if there's some message that you must look at. But you have Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto kind of built into here. Also on the screen, do you see this little lip? I could rest my finger here and I can control things a little bit more easily. The problem with digital screens often is when you're bouncing and moving, sometimes it's hard to control your hand, but this perch makes it better, and it looks like Ford has thought about this as well. But this is the biggest news, right, Zach?
Yeah.
So this center console now slides back, revealing a purse. Well, this is not my purse, it's just a demonstration. So Chevy Tahoe, Suburban, Yukons, and some of the other GM SUVs have a very similar feature. It's controlled a little bit differently in those trucks. There's a button on top in the GM trucks. By the way, this has a panoramic sunroof. But I like this feature. First of all, it hides some of your valuables. Then when you move it back, Zach, you're moving the cup holders further closer to the rear passengers. And it also has a device holder in here, cup holders, and a little hook for hanging things. Little place to hang things. Let me take a minute and tell you about this video's sponsor, Granger Motors, and their extended factory warranties for new Ford, Jeep, Ram, and Chrysler and Dodge vehicles. Let's face it, guys, the new cars and trucks that are coming out right now are packing even more amazing features with technology and more complexity than ever before. And because of it, an extended factory warranty is worth considering the next time you buy a brand new vehicle. Did you know that you can buy an extended factory warranty from any dealership? Yep, you can buy a new car or a pickup truck from your local dealership and buy an extended factory warranty from Granger Motors and save an average of $1,300 off the list price. Granger can do this because they're #1 seller of Ford Protect warranties and one of the top sellers of Mopar vehicle protection warranties in the country. So contact Granger Motors next time you buy your new car or truck for that additional peace of mind. Just use the link in the description below. But wait, there is more. Here on the left of the driver, of the steering wheel, there's a four-wheel drive controller and the drive mode controller. So of course 2 high, 4 automatic, which is important, 4 high and 4 low, and you twist this for drive modes. And there's of course tow haul mode, economy mode, sport mode, slippery, off-road modes, and we'll show you some more modes in the Tremor as well. This is kind of an interesting placement for this. It's kind of out of the way, but I guess you're not using this switch too often. I mean, if you leave it in 4 auto, it can just stay there, and if if it remembers which mode you're in, then you can just leave it and forget it. So that's interesting. I still need to figure out if I like that or not. Let's get back in the back seat. This vehicle is the flagship. It's all about carrying people. If you have a big family, lots of friends, maybe a luxury shuttle, plenty of space, just like before. And we talked about that wheelbase being a little bit longer than the Tahoe, and I really like that. So this console is almost all the way back, and it's very handy. Now this, you can have captain's chairs or this kind of split 40-20-40 bench. You could do this and lower this. I'll show you the cargo area in a second. You also have your climate control systems, heated seats, and media controls here. And this is new also. This is not, all new for vehicles, but this is built in this case. So you could put a tablet here and it holds it for you, so you don't have to have a built-in screen. You can bring your own screen. I think that's really important because devices change all the time and we don't want to re-sign into different things and devices. Of course, like I said, Google built-in system is there, so you have YouTube available as well and different apps like Prime Video from Amazon and such. So lots of ability to watch a lot of shows. I just noticed something though. There is no blind. I can't shade myself here. That's kind of interesting. I would expect for being a platinum that there will be a little bit more privacy, or I can control that. Let me show you the cargo area because this is huge. Now you finally see some of the rear styling of the new Expedition. New tail lamps, little marker light, the bumper design, and kind of the side of the vehicle as well. A floating roof, so body color up here, blacked out, and then body color down here. But this is the biggest news, I think, and I'm really excited by this. So just like the new 2025 Navigator, it now has the split tailgate. And this is unique in the class. The Tahoe doesn't have it, the new Armada doesn't have it, the Sequoia doesn't have it, but it's a little tailgate section, and then of course the upper section. There are lights here, Zach, so they really thought about things like hanging out over here, like I can watch my son's soccer game. Oh, there's a parking lot here, and there's a picnic and tailgate. So I can do this, but there's more. So included with the vehicle is this plastic shelf. And you might be saying, all right, Andre, what's the big deal? What's the big deal here? We've seen plastic shelves before, like a Sequoia has one. But Ford designed it with several uses in mind. So you can use it as a separator. Then you can open the legs like this and created a two-tiered table. So if you are at that game and you're offering some food and beverages, this is pretty sweet. You could also control your music from here, spin some records. But then there's more. You take these down and it turns into a sit back. Seat back. So I know one vehicle that offers this type of arrangement, and it's the Rolls-Royce Cullinan. Rolls-Royce Cullinan pricing starts at about $400,000. Of course, it's fancier than this, but I'm a pretty big and heavy dude. This is supposed to hold about 600 pounds, so two big heavy dudes can sit here. And also back support, weather protection. If it's raining, a lot of useful features in the back of this brand new Expedition. Wait, but there's more. You see this third row here in this Max extended length Expedition? It's a 40-20-40 split now. So this wasn't there before, and I can push this button to middle. Bam, I could lower it, and now I have a pass-through between second and third rows. So if I'm going skiing in the mountains and I have a long bag, I can just throw it in, my golf clubs, whatnot, fly fishing rods. You have many different storage options and a lot of flexibility between these seats. I think they have several very thoughtful features here as well. Here in the roof rail, there's an additional light. It's kind of blinding me right now, but it's meant to kind of shed some light into this direction. Then in the back, the reverse lamp is on right now as we're parked. Actually, GM has been doing this for a long time too, and Ford on several vehicles, and of course, a light here, like I was saying before. So all of those combine. So if you're camping, or maybe you're just waiting for something and before the game starts or after the game ends, you have a lot of light options here in the back as well. And yes, this Platinum Ford Expedition is rolling on 24-inch wheels. Huge, and I think they look very attractive. This tire size is 285, 40, R24. Now we're back inside the new Expedition Tremor, and I think this is my favorite of all the trim levels that you've seen here and that they're showing off right now. Why? Well, because I live in Colorado and we have Rocky Mountains just a few minutes outside of our back door. So this SUV carries a lot of people, goes off-road. So basically the Tremor, think of it as the F-150 Tremor SUV. The F-150 Tremor has been around for a few years. It has a choice of engines. It has 33-inch tall tires. This has a high output version of the EcoBoost engine. The F-150 does not. This has, though, almost identical tires because these two vehicles weigh about the same. They have about the same capability as far as payload and towing is concerned. This also has 10.6 inches of ground clearance, just like the outgoing Timberline version of the Expedition. So it has ground clearance, it's got skid plates on the bottom, it's got rear locking differential, it has 4 auto, 4 low, 4 high, so it's got that fancy transfer case. It has really comfy seats, all the other tech. So I think if I was shopping for a brand new 2025 Expedition, ooh, there's a safe down here. I didn't know this. Yeah, so you can actually equip this with a safe. Just another, it's a Ford accessory right there. I would have to look at this. I mean, it's gonna start to get pricey. We all know this. The current 2024 Ford Expedition starts at just under $56,000 for a two-wheel drive XL version. The XL and XLT no more. The base Expedition is called the Active. It's very similar naming structure and grade structure as the new 2025 Explorer. These SUVs will go on sale in the spring of 2025, so it's still a little bit away, but you should be able to order them in October, just maybe within a few days. So you can either go online or call your local dealer, start ordering them. And as far as capability is concerned, I think this is where it's at for me. As far as affordability, I would have to probably start with the Active, 4x4 of course, and see how that progresses. I don't have one to show you right here, right now. I wish they offered or showed us kind of a little bit more affordable version. By the way, the pricing goes for 2024, it starts at 56 before destination charges, and it goes to about 80,000 before destination charges. So I think the range of price between about 60 and 80 or 85 maybe, that's the range that we're talking about here as far as pricing. So this is a flagship SUV. It tows the most for any SUV as far as Ford is concerned in their lineup. I wanted to, as I close out, I want to tell you a little bit more about BlueCruiser. This is the first vehicle in the Ford lineup with BlueCruiser 1.4. So you've heard us talk about BlueCruiser first came out, it was 1.0. Then 1.2 was the upgrade. Now 1.4 is the latest upgrade. It still offers similar features to 1.2, but I just talked to the team at Ford and they said they've improved the amount of time, hands-free time. Even though a lot of roads are pre-mapped, sometimes some curves are too steep or some situations are a little bit weird, and they've been kind of improving how much time the truck can drive for you. But you still have to stay alert and pay attention to the road. That's why the system is watching your eyes and just making sure you're not asleep or reading or talking to somebody looking away from the road. So you will be able to purchase it at the time of purchase, the BlueCruiser, or you can purchase it later. It'll be a monthly plan or annual plan. So you can kind of choose. If you don't like it, you don't have to buy it. But 90% of new Expeditions will have the hardware, the cameras and radar sensors to enable hands-free driving. But you don't have to purchase it, or maybe you can purchase it a little bit after you purchased your new Expedition. So you have some choices there, but it will be additional cost eventually as you select it. But there's something else. So the digital experience is different, and I love how crisp everything is, but the headlamp controls are now digital. So you have the off-road lamp control separately, and it works with brights. So if you have brights on, those inside grille lights will come on. I don't want to blind people outside right now, so I'm not using them. You have fog lamps, you have automatic lights, and of course regular lights. So you have all these options, but there's no hard stock or switch to do it. So this is very similar to what GM is doing in some of their trucks, like my Chevy Colorado. So it seems like the world is moving towards a little bit more automation and digital control versus hard buttons and knobs. Thanks for joining me. As you can see, there's a lot going on here. Brand new chassis underneath, brand new, all new interior, fresh design on the back and in the front, and lots of technology and lots of new features. So is it going to take it to the Chevy Tahoe? There's also a brand new refreshed 2025 Chevy Tahoe coming out very, very soon. We'll have to test them in Colorado. I want to put them head-to-head, maybe doing an efficiency test, towing test, off-road test, because GM is offering several off-road versions of their SUVs as well. Now Ford is here with the new Tremor, and lots of capability for towing as well. This is going to be an exciting year. 2025 is going to be the year of the large 3-row truck-based SUV. I'm psyched. That means we can compare them and show them to you. And I think Ford is doing quite well. We'll have to check out the pricing that they have. And yeah, I think GM needs to be looking for this to come and maybe almost steal some of their sales. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and check out oldtfl.com for everything automotive in one place.